Welcome to The Telegraph. My name's Louise People, and today we're discussing outsourcing and the benefits it will bring to your organisation. I'm joined by Hilary Robertson from Sopra Steria. Hilary, hello.
Hello.
Now, when we hear about outsourcing, we relate it to cost-saving benefits. Is that the case, or are we missing something bigger here?
Absolutely. I think if outsourcing is equated solely to cost saving, and yes, it can achieve 30, 50, 70% cost saving, but to just focus on that is actually missing a much bigger picture. And that bigger picture is because you can actually influence wider business benefits and impact total outcomes in the business that give far greater benefits. So, for example, it can be about business improvement, it can be about analytical insight to deliver better decision making, it can be about business agility, and it can be about risk and controls and compliance. And central to that is designing the outsourcing contract so that it doesn't just focus on cost savings of a small part of an operation, but actually looks at the total business outcomes across the entire enterprise.
So did the financial crisis really affect how organisations view outsourcing?
Yes, absolutely. I would say that the public sector has actually had such a magnitude of cost focus on it that it has had to take very radical steps. And these are steps actually that the private sector today could learn from. So the public sector had got no money, and it had got to look at the value for money for us, the taxpayer, and it had to decide how to free up funds so that they could keep police on the street, nurses in the hospitals, etc. So essentially they designed their contracts to look at the total business benefit. Cost saving as well, but plus the business benefit. The private sector, conversely, has looked much more at cost savings only, and that means that today in 2015, they could actually be getting even bigger benefits if they adopted the approach of the public sector.
So you're saying that the public sector was reacting in a more mature way than the private sector?
Not at all. Private sector absolutely had to focus on costs. They were facing massive change. They were facing a very unpredictable market environment, short-term measures. That's what you do, cost, cost, cost. Public sector was in a different place. Yes, the magnitude of the austerity was huge. There was no more money. So probably for the first time, they absolutely had a critical pressure to change. Mm-hmm. The difference is the public sector looks at the value for the taxpayers' money, and they actually say our remit is to free up funds to be focused more on frontline care, more nurses, more doctors, more police on the street protecting you from crime. So they looked at the total business outcomes and goals that they wanted to achieve when they went to do the outsource, and that has been transformative. That has delivered far greater benefits than purely cost savings. It's 2015 today. Private sector could be looking at this and they could be getting the benefits of transformative change.
So we've discussed the private sector, but are organisations judging their needs well?
By and large, all organisations know what their goals are, what their strengths and weaknesses are, what the gaps are. What's much harder is understanding what they should change to and how they should make that change. It's a big transformation. Organisations are typically only doing that once, something that outside providers are doing many, many times and can bring in some expertise to help them. So I think that where they can help is looking at the core operating model that they have, decide what is core to them, and what actually could be delivered by somebody else. So, for example, if all your money is tied up doing things that are not really key to you being a pharmaceutical company or a telecoms company or a utility, if somebody else could deliver that service back at the same cost but better or at a lower cost, then why would you not take those funds that are freed up, reinvest them in your core business to being the telco or the bank?